Yeah, so I'll be just waiting for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in. Hi, Mario.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. This is Malta, 7:30 a.m. It's a bit
Quite early
early.
for you in the morning, huh?
Uh,
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
okay.
Okay, so let's start with the session. So first of all, thanks a lot to all of you for joining in such a large number in this session. I'd like to greet you good morning or good afternoon, depending on your geographical location, and giving in your time to join this particular session on new functionalities in iVend 6.5. So this is going to be a bit detailed session, wherein we are going to have a deep down, dive in the new functionalities which were introduced in iVend 6.5. We'll look through, what kind of impacts these functionalities will have on the retail cycles, how it positions iVend in a much more stronger way to our larger community, and how we go around in configuring these options, what we can do with that, and more importantly, what are the limitations. What while doing any solutioning or going for any demonstration, what points we need to we need to consider when we are talking about these new functionalities. I'd like to apologize for the last session. For the last time, we can't have this session. There were some unforeseen technical glitches because of which we were not able to conduct that particular session. So I believe you already have got the apology mail from that from City Access, and me personally and from the behalf of City Access is really very apologetic and sorry for the issue. Okay, so for this session, I'll be muting all of you. At any point of time, if you have any question, if you have any queries, please raise your hand or type in the window at the bottom. Obviously, we are going to have the logical break all through the session, so we can take your questions at that point itself. And at the last, when the session ends, we are going to have a open floor for Q&A round, wherein we are going to take all the questions individually. Lastly, this session would be recorded and will be available on City Access Knowledge Portal for your reference. So starting with this session, these are the agenda points that we are going to cover in this session. First, we are going to talk about offline pause. So this is a new functionality that we introduced in the earlier version of 6.5, wherein no more I'm dependent on the connectivity to run my store operations. So as a retailer, I need not to be concerned whether my point of sale is connected to store, my LAN connections are working, internet is up and running, nothing like that. Even if, the world goes down, my all connections are down, even then my point of sale will keep on doing the transactions and my revenues won't be impacted. So we'll see how this point of sale can be configured, how the data sync happens between the point of sale and the store server in case in terms of real-time transactions and how it goes around. Then we are going to talk about end of day functionality for point of sale. So earlier the cashier was dependent on the store manager to complete the end of day processes at the management console. So his day end could his day transactions could be ended. Now what we have done, we have given this functionality, this opportunity to do the end of day directly from the point of sale. So as a cashier, I know that my transactions are done, my day is over. I simply do the end of day from point of sale, and next day when I log in over the point of sale, I can resume my work. As a store manager, I need not to be concerned that which point of sales were closed, which were not closed. I'll have the complete log over there on my backend console, my management console. And at my convenience, at my availability, I can do the final reconciliations. Then we are going to talk about stock transfer request notification in case of accept or reject. So as in the later versions of 6.4, we introduce a functionality wherein if one store requests the other store for some stock, the other store has the option to accept it in fully. That could be case A. Case B could be that they accept a partial amount and do and reject the remaining. And lastly, if I do not have inventory available with me, I can simply reject it. What we have done, we have enhanced this functionality along with the notifications, wherein as a requester, I can come to know that whether my request has been accepted or rejected. So what it does, it makes the whole retail operations much more synchronized. And I can, as a requesting warehouse or as a requesting store, I can actually plan for the next best options available with me for my stock replenishments. Then we are going to talk about ability to view store transactions from enterprise. So this is a functionality which is in line with the theory that the head office should have a complete visibility on the store operations. So what we are doing with this enhancement is all the business transactions, whether it is a purchase order, it's a good receipt, it's a stock transfers, all these transactions would be available on the enterprise level. So as a part of a buying team, as a merchandise replenishment team, I can see these transactions, I can see the details, and I can see, what kind of, how my store operations are going on. And lastly, we are going to talk about the stock transfer cost for multiple subsidiaries. So, as in case of us, same subsidiary stock transfers, all stock transfers happens on the base cost of or the system cost of my inventory. But in case of multi-subsidiary, the element of shipping cost, insurance, excise duties, and so on comes up, which directly impacts the cost of the product in the receiving warehouse or the receiving store in case it is in a different subsidiary. So in this webinar, we are going to talk in detail that how you can maintain or factor in these different costs while moving your goods from one subsidiary to other subsidiary stores. So starting with the first point, which is offline POS. So offline terminal POS features allows the terminal point of sale to function even if the connectivity between the terminal point of sale and the store server is interrupted. So as I said, even if the world goes down, my operations will keep on going. So when a terminal point of sale is configured as an offline POS, then the transactions done at point of sale will first be persisted in the local database at the point of sale and then get synced to the store server. So in this demonstration, I'll show you that how this works, what is the technology behind it, how we are ensuring that the data loss do not happens at any stage during the flow, and and at the same time the functionalities that are available at the point of sale like discounts, inventory visibility, and things like those do not get diluted. And lastly, the data sync is completely dependent on the point of sale operations. It's there in control of the store manager that whether they want this sync to happen real time or they want the manual push to happen for the data sync from the point of sale to the store server. So I just want to talk about the architecture first from the technical perspective, what we have done to achieve this functionality. So this is the classical iVend model, wherein we have an enterprise server. This enterprise server may be in a unplugged mode or maybe integrated with an ERP via APIs. This enterprise server is then connected to the store servers, which have their local databases with them. So till here the story is very classical in nature. Then we have the individual point of sale. So in the earlier versions, this used to be only a console application, which used to connect to the database store server database for committing or pulling the transactions. What we are doing with offline point of sale is, if a store is configured in offline point of sale, then this point of sale will have its own local database. So this is going to be a SQL-like database with a capacity of 10 GB, wherein any transaction that I do on point of sale, it will first logged in this particular SQL-like database. It will stay over there. Then it will seek for the connection, the SQL connection with the store server database. If it's able to find the connection, it will push the data to the store server. And unfortunately, if connection is not there, data will reside over there on the local database. This point of sale database will keep on pinging, keep on searching for the store server database, and the moment it's able to find it again, it will push the data. And the other way around, when the data is syncing from store server to point of sale server. So that's a basic concept on which this whole mechanism is going to run. So I'll just take you through the system, show you how this can be configured, and we'll talk about the different options that I as a retailer have while configuring this option. So what I have with me are two systems. One system is an enterprise system which has a mixed mode store on it. So this is enterprise. Along with that, it has a local store system over here. And the other system is a pure store which is connected to this enterprise system. So if I just go back to the architecture, so I have this enterprise server. Along with that, I have a store server over here itself and the other store server over here. Right now, the point of sale that I have on this other store, it's in online mode. So we'll just go through and see how I can convert a point of sale from online mode to offline mode. So the first activity that I need to do for this is enable my store for offline operations. So for that, I'll go to the store console. I'll go to IT administration, and I have a new option over here by the name of enable offline store. So the moment I select this option, it asks me that this setup will make the current store offline enable. Do you want to continue? I say yes. And the moment I do so, the system starts installing the sync up services in the background. So it will ask me to restart my store server management console. So essentially at this point of time, at the background, my services have got installed, and system are reinitializing the store systems as per the offline capabilities. The next activity I'll do is pick one of the point of sale that I have with me and enable it for the offline store, offline POS transactions. So I'll just log in over the system and I'll go for the point of sale. So that's the point of sale I have with me, POS01. So currently this point of sale is in online mode. I'll come over here, I'll select the offline option. And the moment I do so, I'm asked to define a custom series for the customers. Now, essentially, this is required. So in case we do not have a conflict between the customers being registered on the different systems, so, the same series do not get picked for the same customer across the point of sale in case they are working offline. So I'll just define a series over here. So that's my downtown store. So let's say that's my series DWCOS start number 1 and 10. I'll select this option, and the moment I do so, system also asks me to define the transaction number series. So again, the logic is same, that there should not be any conflict between the transactions being captured on the different point of sale when they're working in offline mode. So I'll just define the point of sale series over here. So I'll use the same connotation over here, the downtime, this is sale hyphen let's say POS1, and I'll define the start number over here and the end number. Okay, so I'll define the start date. Let's assume that we are starting the things today, and the end of day, and the end of the series will happen at the end of the financial year, which is my 31st of December. Okay, so my document number series is now set. My point of sale is now marked for offline transactions. The next activity I need to do is enable my point of sale console or the point of sale client system for the SQLite database. For that, I'll go to the point of sale. In this system, I have the point of sale available on the, on the same server itself. In a practical scenario, it might be there on a different system altogether. So the moment I do so, the system will check that whether the offline POS has been enabled over here or not. Okay, so I'll just go over here, just check for the offline, yes, and we'll just log in over the system. Now the moment I log in, just give me a moment, let me re-enter the password. Okay, so the moment I log in, system tells me that this POS is set up to run in offline mode. Do you want to configure this POS to run in offline mode or not? So, as a retailer, I have an option whether I want to run my point of sale in offline mode or in online mode. So let's say I select offline mode, and the moment I do so, application gives me two options. So basically, what is happening is my point of sale is restarting starting for the first time in offline mode, and data, which is whatever data is there on the store database, it needs to be synced to the local database with this point of sale application. So I have two options. One is synchronize the data with store automatically, wherein the background service will sync the data. Or the other option is to import the database right from the store server. So if I want to import the database, in such a case, I'll go over there on the point of sale in my store console. I have an option to create the offline backup of the database. So I can create a backup and import over here. Or the other way, I can simply synchronize with store. So I just want to show you through the, how automized and simplified this process has been created. So I can go through the process even in the runtime. So I'll just go through the automatic mechanism. So the moment I'll select the automatic mechanism, it will go for Microsoft Sync framework, which will set the sync services between the point of sale and the store database. So my sync services are installed, then the system is going to install the SQL Server, a local copy of this point of sale database, which is essentially going to be my point of my first point to store the data for point of sale. So this job is being done now. The installations are done in the background. I just simply now need to log in over the system and start with the transactions. So right now it's just creating a SQL local DB database, checking for the connections, ensuring that all configurations are set in place. So again, this is a pretty automized manner wherein I as a store manager need not to have any technical capability, any technical know-how of how the local database works, how the store database works. System will do the things on its own. So right now, as you can see, what the system is synchronized the database, the point of sale database with the store database. So all these tables, INV product group, discounts, all this table data is being synchronized from my store server to my point of sales server. So system will take all system will take all the these relevant tables which needs to be there on the point of sale level, and depending on the size of data that we have, store database we have, this may take a couple of minutes. One thing that I like to mention over here, that because we are using SQLite database for the point of sale, the maximum limit that can be stored on the point of sale is of 10 GB. So at any point of time, if this structure goes, I can go for the store purging, wherein the data from the store database will purge to the enterprise, and the point of sale data will also get purged. Okay. So system is there in the process. It's automatically syncing the tables from the store database to my point of sale database. So now the job is done. My complete data has been synced, and now I can restart my point of sale for the operations. A small correction I just like to make, that rather than using SQLite, what we are using is SQL local database in the system. So that's a bit of technical correction that I just wanted to make over here. Okay, so the moment I log in over the system, you can see on the top that offline is written over here. So as a cashier, I know that whether my system is working in offline mode or in online mode. So I'll just log in over the system, and it will give a warning message to me that synchronization between store and this POS will take some time. So by default, this synchronization is set up to be 5 minutes at any point of time. If I want to make the changes, I can go in the configuration file and make the, can decrease or increase the synchronization time. But what I'll suggest that, get in touch with the consultants, with your local LP for for any such changes in the synchronization time, as it is a bit of a, technical job to go with. So I'll just go into the database and I can start with the transactions. So just to show you the impact of, how this works, I'll just do a transaction and show you at the database level that, how the syncing is happening. So what I have a point of sale, and at the same time I have opened the SQL server, SQL management console for my stored database. Okay, so what I'm trying to show that right now I have 4 transactions for this POS in my store server. I'll add a transaction over here for this particular item. Okay, so let's say I want to book a special order in this case. I'll select some particular item. So let me do one thing. Let me just add the transaction again over here. So I'll just give me a moment, or let me open the point of sale over here. Unfortunately, what I don't have in the other store is the inventory for that particular item. I can definitely make the GRN, but what I'll do, I'll just show you on the other system that I have with me, with the similar setup of offline point of sale. So I'll just log in over the system. Okay, let me just clock in over here. I will say okay, and okay, so let me just search for the product, and I'll take the payments using cash. Great. So the moment I do so, the transaction is now logged in on the local point of sale, and over here I have the option to sync my data between the point of sale and the store console, depending on the option. So I can either go for the manual mechanism or the automatic mechanism to sync the data between the two systems. Okay, so I'll just show you this option, how it works around. So if I just go over here and I show you the options, I have an enable synchronized data from store. So I can simply click on this button, and the moment I do so, my data will push from my point of sale application to my store database. Alternatively, what I can do, I can just have my synchronized services being enabled at the background, so they'll sync the data automatically at the backend. At any point of time, if I want to make the point of sale online, okay, I have a pretty stable network connections, and I do not need any offline point of sale mechanism. In that case, I simply need to click on this button, and my point of sale will turn to the automatic mechanism, wherein any transaction that happen on point of sale, that will directly get logged on the store database. So that's the offline POS mechanism that we have, which essentially makes my complete retail environment to be network independent. So do we have any questions over there on the offline point of sale functionality before I move to the next point? Okay, so sure. So if in case we have any questions, just raise your hand and write it over the window in the chat box window at the bottom. Next, what we have is end of day from point of sale. So end of day, has been a mechanism wherein in conventional system, the point of sale user used to do all the start a day with a till, do all the transactions throughout the day, and at the end of the day, they used to remove the till and close it. Okay. Lastly, the rest of the operations had to be done on the management console by the store manager. So this used to introduce an element of dependency on the store managers. So as a, wherein the cashier was dependent on the store manager for the next day operations. But now what we have done is, if in case I have a pretty lean structure wherein I have one terminal point of sale in a single store, I need not to go through all these hassles. I can simply do the end of day from point of sale. My day would be closed, and I can log in next day and start with the transactions. Meanwhile, my store manager can later do the reconciliations. So essentially, this functionality enables cashier to perform the end of day operations from iVend point of sale. But because of the technical nature of this complete design, there are few cases that can be achieved, there are few cases that cannot be achieved. Okay, so I'll just go through the cases. What are the different cases we may have? So in case store has only one terminal point of sale, this feature can be enabled, and this is exactly the scenario that we are targeting. Then in case I have more than one terminal point of sale, in that case I cannot have it. So this functionality is enabled only in case I have one terminal point of sale in my store. Alternatively, what I can have is one terminal point of sale which is working in online mode and multiple mobile point of sales. So I can do the end of day from terminal point of sale also, and from my mobile point of sale also. If in case I have one terminal point of sale which is working in offline mode, so this is exactly what I was talking about in the last topic, that my terminal point of sale is working in offline mode and I do not have any mobile point of sale, again I can use this feature. But if in case I have multiple point of sales with the terminal point of sale in offline mode, I can't use this feature. So just to simplify the things for you, if I have a terminal point of sale with or without mobile point of sales in a particular store, if I have a single terminal point of sale with or without mobile point of sales in a particular store, I can go ahead with this functionality. If in case this terminal point of sale, if in case I have multiple terminal point of sale, I can't go with that. And if in case I have a single terminal point of sale, but that's in offline mode along with the multiple mobile point of sale, again I can't use this functionality. So whenever we are presenting the solution, we are engaging with the customers, we need to keep the framework in mind. So I'll just take you through the application. What are the different configurations that needs to be done to ensure that my end of day operations can be done from the terminal point of sale. Okay, so for that, the first thing that I need to ensure is that this authorization is dependent on the user. Okay, so whomsoever is going to be my cashier, authorization needs to be defined on the cashier level, that whether they can do the end of day from the point of sale or not. So for that, I'll go to the employee master, and that's my cashier for my store. So on the employee master, I need to enable this option of allow end of day from point of sale. So once this option is allowed, only then my cashier can go ahead and do the end of day from the point of sale. Once this option is enabled, let's say my operations are going on, I'm in middle of the day. So if I just show you over here to the till management, wherein I can see how far my operations have gone, I can see that this till is in assign mode. So as a cashier, let's say my operations are done, my day is over. Now I simply want to end the day. So I just removing the transaction from here. Okay, so I'll just remove the transaction from here, and I'll go for end of day process from the terminal point of sale. So once I do that, on the time clock window, I have an option to do end of day. So on selecting this window, all my background operations, my till removal, my till close, everything will happen automatically by the system. So I'll select this end of day. The moment I do so, system asks me the next business date. So let's say I say that next business date is going to be 18th, which is tomorrow, and I say start. So the moment I do that, the system will automatically be shut down and my end of day process is completed. Now, when I go back to my management console and I look at my till, I can see over here that on the finalize screen, this till is being removed. Okay, so my till is being removed and now I'm ready to move to the next business date of 18. So you can see over here that my business date has been changed to 18 and my next business date is 19th. So essentially, as I have a one terminal point of sale and along with the store, my complete day end operations have been done on this particular store point of sale. So again, another feather being added to the iVend applications, wherein we are trying to make the things as simple as possible, particularly in a scenario wherein there's only a single point of sale in the store. Let me just check if we have any questions over here. So till now we do not have any questions. What I'll I'll suggest that if you have any questions, please move forward. Please ping or let me know your queries. So that was about the end of day from point of sale. Next, what we have is stock transfer request notification in case of accept or reject. So, with the iVend 6.4 later versions, what we introduced is a functionality wherein if one store requests the other store for any inventory, the other store has the right, can reject or partially accept it. What we have done, we have enhanced this functionality to a point wherein as a requesting warehouse, I can see whether this store request has been accepted or rejected. So when user raises a stock transfer request to another store and the requested store does not have available stock, the user at the requested store will be able to partially accept or reject the stock transfer request. Okay, and based on the user action, we can see over there in the notification window the status. Along with that, only accepted stock transfer results will be considered for MRP. So if in case we are running the MRP iVend MRP engine for raising the requisitions, in that case system will only consider the accepted or partially accepted request. And this would be applicable only for iVend unplugged version. So if in case my system is integrated with any of the ERPs, this request functionality won't be applicable in such a case. So I'll just take you through the system. As I said, I have two systems with me. One is my enterprise system and second one is my store system. So let's say my enterprise system, which is also a store, is raising a requisition to the other stores, which is my downtown store for a particular inventory. So I'll go over there. I'll select the request from store, which is downtown store. I'll add a couple of items over here. So let's say I'm requesting for men's solid polo. Let me add another product over here. And okay, so I add a couple of items. As you know, we can simply scan the items on this window, or we can search it over here. I enter the quantity that I need to request from them. If I have any reason, I can assign the reason for it. I can give the sender reason code, the sender comments, and on the other side, we'll see that how the receiver reason works. So let's go ahead. Let me add this request. So a request has been added from the store 1 to store 2. So right now my accepted quantity is 0. So my store 2 has not accepted any any of the quantity for this particular request, and my status is open and acceptance status is pending. Okay, so I say what it essentially does, it tells my system that no action has been taken by the receiving store on the request and it is still in process. From the iVend application, I have the option to at any point of time to drill down to check what request has been raised, what are the current status, and how far this has gone. So as I was talking, if I run the MRP engine at this point of time, this request won't be considered for my MRP as no action has been taken by the receiving store for this particular activity. Now question comes that let's say I'm the other store user. How I'm going to come to know that I have a request to take an action upon. So what I've done for such for such the information, I have set up the notifications over here. So these are the different. So there are different kind of transactions for which I can set the inbuilt notification engine in iVend, and I have set up a notification for the stock request wherein whenever a stock request is being raised, a notification is raised in the other system. So right now this notification has been set up for all the users across these stores, that they'll get the email alerts and the application alerts also. I have a very flexible mechanism over here wherein I can define that which particular stores and which particular users are going to get the notifications, whether they are going to be only email notifications or only inbuilt application notifications. So we have inbuilt notifications on management console and point of sale in iVend. I can define the SMS and email templates which are going to be sent, and moreover I can define the report format which will be visible at the receiving end while looking at the notification. So just let me check whether this particular transactions has been integrated from this system to the other. So that's the replication monitor which captures the transactions which are being integrated from one system to the other system. Right now this is there in a queue and it's getting integrated to my downtown store. If I had multiple stores, I can come over here on the drop down, I can see the different destinations over here. And as I see, this log has gone decreased. So a part of the transactions has been integrated to the other system, and the other part is there in the queue. Okay, so again, the complete system is automized. I need not to have any intervention. As in a real-time retail scenario, I need not even need to come over there in this window. This window will take care of it itself. It will pick the notifications, push to the next store, and the complete system will work on the automized manner. So as I see, this log is clear over here on the enterprise level. I should have got an email along with an SMS if I have configured that. But now, right now, what I'm focusing are the application alerts, or the the system alerts. So as you see, I have an alert over here which says that that's a stock transfer request I have just received from the other store. So this is from the store 04 to this my warehouse. It shows me the format, whether it is pending, its status. It shows me the quantity they have ordered, and so on. Now, as I was talking to you about this report format, it's completely in my control. If I want to have a pretty sleek format over here in a tabular form or some other form, I can design it and assign it on my notification window. So let's do one thing. Let's drill down in the system, open this particular request. So I'll go for the stock transfer request received. I'll search for whatever request, what request I have. So I can see that that's a request that I got from the warehouse 04. I can see that status is open and the acceptance status is pending. So as a user, I can change the accepted quantity over here. So I can say that, okay, I do not have the complete, I cannot deliver you the complete quantity. This is, a partial quantity is possible. I can give a reason. If I have any comments, I can give the comments, and so on. Okay, so right now I'm just, trying to run into the session and cover all the functionalities which are available, which I'm going to talk about. So I'll just quick pass on quick through, and I'll reject the complete stock transfer. So the moment I do so, my acceptance status has been changed to rejected. And if I go back to the window and I'll search for this transaction, it shows over there as a rejected one. So I'll just go over here, I'll search for it, and I can see the status. So again, the similar process is going on. My stock transfer was received at the at the warehouse 06. 06 opened this transaction, this request. The replenishment manager looked through the lines and he rejected it. Now, if I just go to the IT administration, I'll go for the replication monitor. Nothing is being shown over here. I believe that this particular transaction would have integrated to the other end. So if I just go over there and I'll check for the notification, I have a notification over here. So I'll check for the notifications, and what I can I'll just go through the notification, and what I can see over here that my notification status has got changed to rejected. So I can have my SMS being configured, so I can get the SMS notification that this status has been rejected. My status is, and my request status has also got changed to close. So now I can look for the other mechanisms for my replenishments and go it. So that was a bit on the notification, on the stock transfer request, notification, acceptance and rejectance. which is completely focused on being, to make the system as visible as possible and as responsive. So as a user, I need not to go again and again in the system, check whether the request has been accepted or rejected. I need not to be concerned about it. I'll get the notification, I'll get the information as the store manager. And adding to that element, what we have done to make the system much more open and controlled from the head office perspective, we are now integrating all the transactions happening on the store level to the head office. So any business transaction, whether it is a purchase order, it's a good received, it's a stock transfer shipment, location transfers, everything gets integrated at the HO level. So as a part of the buying team, as a part of the centralized buying team, procurement team, I need not to pick up the phone, call to the other store and look, what operations these stores are going on. I can simply open my console, I can check the transactions and I can filter them down. What I can do over here, I can only view the transactions. I cannot make the edit. Now, this has been done with the very basic retail sense that eventually the responsibility should be there at a single point. So it should not happen that my store manager does something, it gets changed at the HO level, and there's an element of confusion. The change point would be single. That is my store people. What I can do at the HO level, I can check them, and if I found any discrepancies or any change, I can ask the store people to make the changes. So for that, that's a pretty simple mechanism wherein I can go for the enterprise level. So that's my enterprise system. I can simply go for the business transactions. I can check for the for all the operations that has been done for that particular store. So if I just check for stock transfer request, these are the different stock transfer requests that have been raised across the system. So these two requests was raised from the this particular warehouse, which is attached to my enterprise O4, and this has been done from the other store warehouse, which is O6, my downtown warehouse. If I have a very huge list over here and I want to do the filtering, I can simply come over here. I can do the filter over here, or I can go to the from warehouse option, select that particular warehouse and search it. So that's the enhancement that we have done from the controlling perspective on the data sync between the iVend, between the stores and the enterprise, and their visibility and control. So these were the different scenarios for the the business transactions. Lastly, what I would like to talk about is the stock transfer cost for multiple subsidiaries. So as we know that long back we introduced the concept of multi-subsidiaries in iVend, but there was always a question about the peculiarity which a subsidiary environment brings in case of store-to-store transfers. So let's say if I have two stores under the single subsidiary, the conventional accounting mechanism will work, wherein I need not to assign any cost while doing the transfers. Whatever cost is being there, the costs that I have for a particular item in a store will get impacted when I do the transfer from one store to another store. Okay, that's the automatic mechanism. What subsidiary brings in are the complexities which are involved in the accounting structure or the legal structure of the organization itself. So I may have one company running in one subsidiary running in New York. I can have another subsidiary running in London. So in this case, when I transfer the goods from one point to another, so let's say if I'm transferring my goods from New York to London, obviously there are going to be different additional costs which are going to be there in play. I can have the shipping cost involved. I can have the insurances being involved over here. I can have the excise duty, the custom duties, and depending on the two different locations, I can have different kind of cost being involved over here. So we were looking for a mechanism wherein I can capture these costs and add these costs to my stock valuation. So at the end of the day, when I'm valuating my stocks, I can running the reports, I can see that, okay, this is the impact that these additional factors had on the overall evaluation of the inventory that I had. So what we introduced over here is a concept of multi price list in a multi subsidiary. So when I'm doing a stock transfer shipment from one store to another store, which lies in different subsidiaries, I'll have an option of price list over here. So I can define a new price list which factor in these different costs. I can assign this particular price list. The moment I do so, at the line level, the new prices will get populated. If these prices are okay, I do not they already factor in all the cost, I can simply go on and add the transfers. But if in case I need to make any changes, as a user I have an option and to change these prices individually. So the formula that we are using for all these calculations is receiving cost. So the cost which is going to be impacted at the receiving warehouse will be the cost of item at the sender side. So the average or the standard cost that we are maintaining at the sender side, that will be multiplied by the exchange rate value of receiving store currency. So let's say if I have an item which is for let's say $100 and my exchange rate is of 1.2. So when the system is going to integrate the transaction to the receiving side, it will automatically change the cost of this of this particular uh, product by 120 or whatever exchange rate mechanism I have. So this can be very beautifully be clubbed with the other functionality in iVend, which is the price manager we have. So yeah, let's say I'm going to have the custom duty of let's say 5% being involved. Okay, so I can simply come over here, add the price list, assign the price list over here, multiply it by the factor or add a particular value if it's a particular value factor, and I can come with the new price list. I can assign that price list and I can do the transfers. Okay. So at one point of time, my operations are very simplified, wherein I need not to think about each and every product individually. And at the second time, parallelly, my basic requirement of capturing my cost and factoring it in my inventory valuation is also going to be at risk. One thing which is very important to be mentioned over here, that as subsidiary and inventory valuations are applicable only in case of iVend unplugged version. So this functionality would be applicable only for the unplugged version of iVend. So essentially these were the topics that were part of my agenda for today's session. I hope that this I would have been able to address many of the questions that you had on these points. So now I'm opening the floor for any questions that you may have. Please raise your hand, I'll just unmute you, or just write in your question on the chat box window. So I have a question over here from Eddie who says that can POS transactions be viewed at the enterprise level through POS? Okay, so Eddie, right now this functionality is available for the business transactions. This is not available for the point of sale transactions as such, but the requirement that you're looking for, it can be very easily achieved if I'm using the dashboard functionality. Okay, so I can design the dashboards, because see, if in case I have inter-store transactions being enabled, all the transactions will integrate from my store level to my enterprise, and I can design the dashboards that can show my point of sale transactions either in aggregated form, or I can drill down, I can look out for each of the point of sale, or if in case I want to put in any place in any factor like transactions which happen to be more than a particular value, let's say $10,000 or refunds or so on, I can design my dashboards for to achieve all such requirements. I hope I have answered your question. If you have any, additional to that, just let me know. So next is Eddie Wilcox is saying that, so I must enable inter-store transactions to achieve this. No, not in case of enterprise. If I'm looking for the other store, then I need to go for the inter-store. Okay, by default, all transactions from the store will be integrated from my store level to my point of sale. Next is there any way to prorate the cost of delivery? Okay, Ivan, I just need a bit of clarity on your question, so I'm just muting you. So, you can just clear that for me. Hi, Ivan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good man. I just wanted to find out, in some cases you might have a bundle of products in a transfer. Some items might be cheaper items and some items might be more expensive. So you can prorate them according to their cost. And then also, if there are items that are heavier than other items, you can also prorate the cost according to that in normal ERP systems. So how would you take the delivery cost and split that through to the different items that you've got on that transfer?
Okay, right. So, Yuan, so as I talk, if you're looking to achieve such a mechanism, what I'll suggest that let me just go back to the window, to the price manager window. Okay, and I need to look into this on this window to prorate the cost. Okay, so let's say I have an item, and depending on, let's say, their cost, they are going to be multiplied by a particular factor. Okay, so this factor is going to be same, but the absolute value is going to be different depending on the cost of the particular item. In such a case, I can use the multiplying factor or the adding factor in terms of percentages to capture it. Okay, what I'll suggest that we have different mechanisms, but we need to have the detailed requirement, so all such cases are being captured. Okay, but yep, to answer your questions, base and straight, yes, we have a mechanism. It's just that we need to look into the requirement in detail and then see what part can be covered over here directly, and what would be the left, what would be left and can be catered using some other mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other question we have? So right now I can't see any question over here, but any point, if you have any questions, please feel free to go over the knowledge.cityaccess.com. You can go over the forum, post your queries. We have a huge, I should say, the army of consultants who keep on looking at the portal. They'll definitely get back to you on the questions. This particular webinar, for your reference, would be very soon uploaded on the knowledge portal, so you can refer it at any point of time. And lastly, we have a complete set of documentation and videos being available on the knowledge portal, which talks about each of these functionalities in details. So please go through, register yourself on knowledge.cityaccess.com. That's the central repository for all our, for all our functionalities and everything that happens in City Access, and have a happy learning. So with this, I'm closing this session. Thank you. Thanks a lot to all of you for joining in this session, for giving your time. And it was great interacting with such a lively audience. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. I'm closing it now.